past president of your daughter club, Rotary Club of Makati Business District. I will be your moderator for today, and may I take this wonderful opportunity. It's a privilege to be a moderator for this rare Rotary Ants Day. So thank you for having me. For the information of our new members who are called baby Rotarians and our uninitiated guests yet, so please be one of our members soon. The wives of Rotary Club Makati Rotarians are called Rotary Ants, which was Rotarians' wives. Back in the day, they were just called Rotary Ann. But through the years, they've been changed to the generic spouse. But for Rotary Club of Makati Business District, oh, sorry, naku po, that's your daughter club. But for Rotary Club of Makati, they would prefer to be called Rotary Ants. So that's why we are called Rotary Ants. And I can see a lot of the beautiful ants in the room. And if I may just have the pleasure, this is our day. Can you please all stand up? The lovely and charming and beautiful Rotary Ants. Oh, grabe. Dominated tayo, ha? Can you see, guys? Look around you. We're 50%. Yay! Okay. So, again, going back to Rotary Ants Day is a special day when ants take charge of the day's program. Planning, deciding on appropriate guest speaker, giving out assignments among ourselves, invocator, guest speakers, introducer, and yours truly, moderator. We fill in the assignments except one, that of the president. He still calls the meeting to order, delivers his president's time, and adjourns the meeting. And now, to officially start the meeting, may I call on our president, Bing Matoto, to call the meeting to order.
Thank you, Rosel. On behalf of the Rotary Club of Makati, I'd like to call this meeting to order.
Thank you, President Bing. Now, may I call on Anne Cecile Dayrit, wife of our past president, Junjun, to deliver the invocation.
Lord, let's stand up, please. All stand up, please. Lord, we thank you for all the blessings given to our Rotary members, their aunts and their families. Guide us to use those blessings to embody the Rotary values of service above self, dedicating ourselves to the well-being of humanity. May our actions be guided by the four-way test. May we do this work mindful of inequalities and bias brought about by age, sex, race, religion, and social status. As Rotarians, may we break barriers to dismantle prejudices. In this manner, may we find purpose, and through our commitment, may we inspire positive change in the world. Amen.
Thank you, Anne Cecile. May I request everyone to put their hand on the chest if you're a Filipino or, for the Philippine National Anthem, to be followed by the Rotary Club of Makati hymn.
Witness a history in our lifetime as we bring back to life what a true Rotarian should be. Service above self, unity in diversity, and inclusivity, all for one, and one for all. This is our chance. This is our time to rise up and be the example of one.
Together, let's create hope in the world. So let us sing with one voice the Philippine National Anthem.
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way. To aid our fellow men, as true Rotarians we live to lead. We believe in service above self, and this is why we succeed. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, and together we stand proud. We are leaders with integrity, always ready to serve humanity, always living by the four-way test, building goodwill and peace along the way, giving hope to the world. We're the Rotary Club of Makati, giving hope to the world. The Rotary Club of Makati.
And now it's time. Please be seated, everyone. It's time as I lead the recitation of the four-way test. The four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair for all concerned? Will it lead goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? And the answer to all of the above is, thank you. We would like to acknowledge the visiting Rotarians, aunts, and guests present today. Let's start with our dignitaries, PDG Tony Kila, PDG Sid Garcia, PDG Peps Bangzon, DGN Reggie Nolido. Fantastic. Now for the louder applause. The ants. IPPF, Papal Escaler. Yay! Tessie Amaro. Very good. Tessa Chioche. Yes. Irene Barcelon. Jenny Bosch. Chiodi Buenaflor. Maraming fans yun, ha? Huwag ka tayong papatalo. Jean Chavez. Yeah. Cecil Dayrit. Ev Galvez. Tresha Garcia, Rachel Harrison, Yvonne Kwan, Chip Marty, Queen Mills, Wilma Palafox, Manchu Pascual, Angela Kila, Kat Rufino, Terry Tambunting, and Amy Villatulia. From the numbers alone, we deserve an Ann's Day. Yes. Julian Margaret Fintham, guest of and Queenie Mills. R.C. Tambunting Robinson, daughter of Ann Terry Tambunting. Yes. Marivic Españo and Helen de Guzman, guests of President Bing Matoto. Past President Doris Ensomo, Rotary Club of Makati, San Lorenzo. Lito Domantay from PAGA, Philippine American Guardian Association. Lisha Kirscher, also from PAGA. Jill Cortez, also from PAGA. Princess Justine McCarver and Resha Banson. Beneficiaries from the Philippine American Guardian Association. Erwin Paigma, guest of Director Johnny Ang. Richie Jackson Padilla, guest of Director Johnny Ang. Catherine Jose from the Daily Tribune. And Mr. and Mrs. Ralph Weiner, guest of past President Sani Tambunting. Anyone? Very good. Very good reception and staff. Thank you. Welcome again, everyone. Now it's time for to recognize. Oh, Lady Anne. Yes. Yes. Sorry. Yeah, apologies. PP Doris Ensomo is from Makati, San Antonio. There's something wrong with my eyesight. Okay, and anymore, sorry about that. We missed you. And it's Pinal. Okay, so everyone is recognized. And we will now proceed to the birthdays, wedding anniversary celebrators. Meron? Meron? Right there. Huh? Oh, there. Sorry. Old school. I'm looking at the paper. Now I have an iPad in front of me. Greetings to birthday and wedding anniversary celebrators. Rotarians. PP Fred Parungao, 24 January. Past President Peter Manzano, 28th of January. Leo De Leon, 1st of February. Wilson Lin, 1st of February. Rotary Ants, Terry Kataga, 25 of January. Brin Panlilio, 26th of January. Marie Segura, 26th of January. Rosa Padiernos, 30th of January. Eleanor Tan, 2nd of February. And for the wedding anniversaries, June and Camila Lumagui, 26th of January. Past President Peter and Pam Manzano, 28th of January. Ferdy and Menchit Ordevesa, 28th of January. And IPP Michael and Papat Escaler, 3 February. Congratulations, everyone, and happy birthday to the birthday celebrators. Now, we will have the birthday song.
And we have the spouse of Invocator to sing with me, Pipi Junjun. Right. It's your birthday. Farewell wedding day. Let's celebrate. Important day. We greet you, dear. Dear, a happy birthday and happy wedding day. How is that, PP Eddie? Up?
Whoa, whoa, wow. Congratulations, kiss. Kiss. Wow. Woo. Wishes for many more years of happy returns. Okay. Now, the floor is open for any club functions and committee announcements. Anyone? Eddie. PP Eddie up. Up. Yes.
Richard, Mike.
Sir PP Eddie, I saw Papat there.
Yeah, can we have
Anyone
the flyer?
else? Okay.
Can we have the flyer? Okay, there. All right. So, thank you, President Bing, for asking me to give an update on this concert to be presented by our club together with the Rotary Club, our daughter club, uh, Makati Premier District. So, in keeping with the last month of February, the concert will consist of among the most popular romantic melodies from the genre of theater music composed by the greats like Andrew Lloyd Webber, Schoenberg, Ennio Morricone, Rogers and Hammerstein, Leonard Bernstein, Lerner and Lowe, among others. And it will include romantic compositions from the genre of classical music. In fact, one of the piano concerto is considered the best concerto ever composed or written. Now, up to this point, some are still asking me when is the date and the venue. Well, it's going to be on February 2nd. It's a Friday, and the venue is at the PIF in Rockwell. Now, well, I'm glad to inform you that President Bing has a very big problem, but it's a good problem because seats were sold out in just 2 weeks, despite the holiday hangover. And because of this, I would like to request that we have a waiting list for seats and that for those of you who may not be able to attend, okay, to kindly yield your seats. Inform Louis is in charge of this project. Kindly inform him. Do not waste your seats. Early birds got their prepared seats near the stage, and also the special early bird discount of 15%. Now, okay, for those participating in the masquerade ball, we have 4 dances, 2 by a romantic couple and 2 choreographed dances, one of which is a masquerade. And I've requested Louis to recruit 5 pairs from our club and 5 pairs from the other presenting clubs to participate. So I think Rachel asked me a question, no? What the attire should be. I said that, well, it's going to be bonga. So bring out your ball gowns. Do not be underdressed and do not be overshadowed by the 5 professional dancers because they're going to wear specially made, specially tailored ball gowns. And you will be provided with masks, no, in keeping with the masquerade theme. Uh, so thanks to President Bing, our board, we are going to have this concert and it's going to benefit the Sisters of Mary Boys Town and Girls Town in Silang and Cavite. My service as producer is always pro bono. So my only request to Bing is that to share part of the proceeds to the Sisters of Mary. So you'll be glad to know that by buying tickets, you will be helping provide education to 11,000 indigents in Cebu and Cavite. Okay. Okay, so this is about it. Now, I would like to see you all at the concert. Thank you.
A very exciting event indeed. Just to reiterate, for the performers, for the masquerade is ball gown. PP Eddie, how about the attendees? How about the attendees? What
Eddie.
for the what do you call it? The performance, the 5 pairs, they will have to wear ball gown. But what about the attendees, the people who are going to watch?
The attendees smart casual.
Yeah,
But since the theater is air conditioned, I advise that you wear a blazer.
Okay,
or a
got it.
jacket.
All right. So as comfortable as possible, so we will enjoy watching the show. Next announcement is from Papat Escaler.
Hello, good afternoon. I just want to give you the report of the Last Angel project. So we were able to collect 929,000 in cash donations. Yeah. And that some of that came also from non-Rotarians. I solicited a little bit outside of Rotary. And then there was another donation in kind worth 83,064 pesos. I think it was mga slippers and different. So altogether, we raised 1,012,000 pesos. 1,012,209 pesos. Okay. So with that, we were able to give more than, I don't know the exact number of, because we're still giving. We were able to give more than 3,000 children toys and storybooks. Okay, maybe that's what set this year apart. We added storybooks because these children don't really get books. I think the books that they get are really poor quality, like toilet paper quality, so they don't have a good impression of books. We were able to source hardbound children's books from the UK, Canada, and the US. But of course here, so what's maybe what retails for 1,000 or 500 pesos, we get for 35 pesos. And these are just pre-loved books. So on top of the toys, we were able to buy, and we're still buying because we still have money. I haven't finished the money up to now. Yeah. So we still have 36,000 pesos worth of money. And then the books naman is, wait, my phone. And then, okay, books. We were able to buy 4,376 books. We've distributed 2,382 books. and we still have a balance of 1,994 books plus 35,000 pesos. So what I'm doing now is I'm just giving it to friends who are, with different organizations. One is Don Bosco. Another one is Del Kunsing, the wife of Bong, also has a feeding program somewhere in Alabang, but it's all documented, right? So they give a certificate of appreciation saying exactly how many toys, how many books, and how many children they are personally distributing the books and toys to, because we still have money and 2,000 books. So that's where the Last Angel project went this year. Thank you for all your support. And Boy Arteache was always there, as usual.
A huge round of applause. One more time. Angel initiative by Rotary Ants. Next announcement is from past President Junjun.
Yeah, good afternoon, fellow Rotarians. No, on Thursday, we are donating books that we got from Rex Bookstore to the National Penitentiary through one of our former members, Mr. Danny Ignacio, who arranged for the donation. So if you want to join, that will be at 2 p.m. at the National Penitentiary in Muntinlupa. All right. But if you want to join, you'll have to give your ID card to RIA for security purposes. Okay. So that will be on Thursday at 2 p.m. at the National Penitentiary. Now, why are the books being given to the National Penitentiary? Well, as you know, a lot of the inmates did not finish their basic education or their high school. So the books are being given there for inmates who want to use it to be able to complete their education. Thank you.
Thank you for all those announcements. Today, we have the honor of acknowledging a couple who has made a generous contribution to the Rotary Foundation. Please join me in welcoming PDG Tony Kila to the stage to recognize this contribution.
Thank you. I'm happy to present to you our latest Arts Club Society member who have donated at least $250,000 to the Rotary Foundation. So may I call on IPP Michael Escaler and Ann Papat. And President Bin, can you pin we'll pin the medal dependent first to Michael, AKS pendant. I think Michael and Papat will give more than $250,000. And then, Michael, can you put the pin on Papat and the pendant on Papat? Kailangan pala babae yung naglalagay ng pendant. Yung pin. And then the crystal. Be careful, baka mahulog. Okay.
Thank you, PDG Tony, and congratulations to PB Michael and Papat Escaler for their very generous donation. RC Makati is very, very proud to have members like you. Another round of applause. Now we come to a significant moment as we witness the signing of the Memorandum of Agreement between our club and the Philippine American Guardian Association. Please join me in inviting President Bing Matoto, PDG Sid Garcia, to represent our club in the signing, along with Ms. Lisa Kirscher and Lito Domantay, representing PAGA. I'd like to request the two scholars to join them to the witness signing. Table to the right, please. The MOA being signed marks the partnership between our club and PAGA. This agreement outlines RC Makati's support of 100,000 pesos, which will provide educational assistance to 5 students covering monthly allowances, school supplies, and tuition or project expenses. We are very privileged to have 2 scholars here today. Could you please share a few words with us later? Or here, or now? Now na ba? Oh, no, sign first. Okay. And while they're still signing, we're going to ask our lovely ladies to say something about being a scholar.
Hello, good day. I am Princess Justin C. Carver, and I'm currently living at Zapote, Las Piñas, and I'm 21 years old. And I am a first year college student at Dr. Pilimon C. Aguilar Memorial College of Las Piñas. And I've been a PAGA beneficiary since I was a kid. And today I am truly grateful that Rotary Club of Makati is a partner of PAGA. And it is a truly blessing to be able to pursue my education and to achieve my dream as a successful entrepreneur. Thank you, Rotary Club of Makati.
Good day po to everyone. I'm Jesha Banson. I'm I'm Filipino Americans. Then I'm part of the PAGA organization since I was in a grade school. Then I'm 21 years old po. I'm living in Binyan City, Laguna. I'm now on my 3rd year college, taking up BS in Hospitality Management at Laguna Northwestern College. I chose this course because my dream is to be a flight attendant since I was in a grade school. Then I hope this will be my this will help me and my family to get out our poor life we're in now. Then to the member of Rotary Club, thank you for choosing me as one of your sponsored students. I will do my best to be a deserving of your sponsorship and I will do my best to realize my dream. Maraming salamat po.
This is one of the reasons why it's so fulfilling to be a Rotarian, to see ladies like them.
Before I ask the president of the PAGA, the Philippine American Guardian Association, to give a short message, I just want to say that we had this opportunity to meet Lito, who is a classmate of my brother from LaSalle. Oh my God. And also classmate from Columbia University. And he had told me about the plight of the Filipino-American children. And a lot of them need education and are in poverty. So he told me about what the Philippine American Guardian Association was all about. And I endorsed this to the board, and I'm very happy that our board has decided for this Rotary year to support 5 children, 5 kids for this. Thank you, the Rotary Club of Makati. In brief, the donation consists of 20,000 pesos, which will, per student, which will sponsor their schooling requirements throughout the year. And we hope we'll be able to do this every year with God's blessings. Thank you and congratulations to PAGA.
Great, thank you so much. We're really excited about this new partnership with Rotary, and I'm wondering why it took so long. I've only been on the board for about 5 or 6 years, but the organization has been around since 1921, so more than 100 years. So I don't know why it took us so long to make this partnership, but thanks to Lito and Sid for making it happen now, and we hope this will progress over time. So you might be wondering why Filipino Amerasians. Most people, when they think of Americans, I'm American, oh, mayaman, they're rich. Why do Americans need help? But if you think about what was happening in 1921, and you might have some inkling of this, is we had a lot of American servicemen here in the Philippines, right? And then you think of what happened over the years, right? We had the Vietnam War, we had so many American servicemen, we had the bases, and now we have the Balikatan. So we always have so many American servicemen here. And what happens when those servicemen have R&R? They have a free night, right? They end up having alliances, dalliances, or whatever you call it, and we end up having children who are then left with their mothers to try to fend for themselves. And a lot of those children don't have enough money for education to be able to really become productive members of society. So over the years, that has been the role of PAGA, to provide not only some financial assistance, but for me, what's been even more important is just the care, the one-on-one care. We have 2 licensed social workers, and they reach out to the kids on a regular basis, well, definitely once a month at least, to give them their monthly funds. They get 1,000 pesos a month that goes to their family to help keep them in school. But more important is checking in. How are you doing? And running workshops. We did one on stress. You know, all kids face stress these days, stress with school and social media and all this. Do workshops with their parents, how to handle teenagers, which I can relate to. So it's that kind of, that one-on-one help that we really provide that's really so important to these kids. And we've been doing this for so long. We have generations and generations of beneficiaries. So we really want to expand. Over the years, we've kind of gotten smaller and smaller. And when I joined the board, I said, wow, we need to really turn this around. So this is a great step in that direction to turn things around. So we have some brochures outside on the table if you want to grab one. You can also sponsor a child yourself if you'd like to, or you could, get involved in other ways. There are lots of skills you all have if you might want to pass them on. And also just a quick thank you for the books. By an accident, I ended up with 2 boxes of children's books right around Christmas time that came from this club. It was an accident because they were supposed to go to there's the immigration detention facility in Bicutan, and we always bring things for Thanksgiving for the American detainees there, and we were supposed to get books for them, and then I opened the box and it was children's books, and I said, oh, this is not going to be right for the detainees. So we gave them to the PAGA kids instead for Christmas. So thank you for the books we got as well. So maraming salamat po. Thank you.
That is so wonderful. Only one of the things that Rotary Club of Makati is so good at. I'm so, so proud and happy because the hearts here so generous. Thank you. Now, speaking of generosity, The Last Angel is a project of the ants, but of course, without the help of a few people, it's not going to be as successful. Special mention to Tony Lopez for helping The Last Angel. Para tayong hindi kumain. Can we have a proper clap, please, for Tony Lopez? Yay! Okay. Before we introduce our guest speaker, I would like to invite President Bing to provide us with an update on the latest happening and upcoming events of our club. It's President's time. President Bing.
Thank you very much, Rachel, and good afternoon again, ladies. We really should have more Rotarian days, such a great turnout. No, Michael was complaining, actually. He said, why are the ladies only coming here now, not during my term? So we welcome you, and we hope we can do more of these kind of events in the future. Yes, today marks a special occasion as we, of course, celebrate the first Rotary Ants Day for the Rotary year 2023-2024. Extend again a warm welcome to all our members and their spouses who have joined us for this unique luncheon meeting. I want to express my gratitude to Anne Rachel Harrison and Cecil Dairit and Menchu Pascual for agreeing to participate in today's program. I also extend a warm welcome to our esteemed guest speaker, Mrs. Corazon dela Paz-Bernardo, who will be introduced later. We eagerly await your insights on women achieving leadership roles. I should tell you quickly, though, how I got about to think of inviting Cora. I'm a member of the Board of Trustees of the Institute of Corporate Directors. And we espouse governance, which of course includes diversity. And during our last board meeting, when we bestowed an honorary fellowship on Cora, we had the ladies on our board ask me, do you have any lady members in your club? And of course, that was Marivic Espano and another member of ICD, Helen de Guzman. And of course, Cora was there. And I said, yeah, come to think of it, we don't. But I said, why don't you come over and speak about women's leadership roles? But after Cora saw all of the women here, and Marivic, she said, oh, you have so many women pala here. Yeah, I said, they're really the ones powering the Rotary Club. It's not the men. So I guess that's the answer why we don't have lady members, because we have everything that we need from them. And also today, we have signed a MOA and provided support to the Philippine American Guardian Association with a contribution of 100,000. This generous donation will fund scholarships for 5 Filipino American students, providing them with a 20,000 peso educational assistance package. I extend my appreciation to PDG Sid Garcia for endorsing this meaningful project to the board. Thank you very much, Sid. I'm also pleased to announce the successful completion of the feedback program in partnership with Advancement for Rural Kids in Isabela. This initiative has been a resounding success, with 6 barangays in Rojas and Reina Mercedes completing a 10-week vegetable exchange program. This program was actually introduced to us through the courtesy of Rotarian Philip Soben, whom we hopefully will be our next Rotary president. Papat promised to talk to Rita to convince her, right? Among the graduates, 67 families have continued to supply high-volume produce to local markets. Our club's contribution of 1.5 million during the term of IPP Michael Escaleras made a significant impact on the lives of 300 families in Isabela. And I extend my personal gratitude to Chief of Staff Ron Dotaro, who's actually making the wheels of our club move. Without him and his staff, we wouldn't be able to do half of the things that we've just seen today. Ron went all the way to Isabela to represent our club in this initiative. And of course, to Director Winston Uy of Universal Leaf for also sponsoring several communities in the program. I would like to extend my invitation once again for January 26 as we host Meet the Startups at 4 p.m. at the Paing Hichanova Creativity Center in our RC Makati Clubhouse. This event is being spearheaded by Bom Villatuya. It's really an event where we hope to be able to encourage more startups And in this particular event, we will be having hopefully some of the prospective investors will be looking at interesting projects. So I encourage the likes of Michael, Tony Lopez, Tony Kila, Eddie Yap to please be there, June, so we can take a look at what our youth have to offer in terms of possible investment opportunities. This event, in partnership with Startup Village, which is under the aegis of a new member of ours, Paz-Bernardo, which is under our Hatch program, promises to be an exciting opportunity to engage with aspiring entrepreneurs. Following this, we will have our Friday Night Lights sponsored by a December and January celebrants. Now, I've been told, why aren't the ladies being included in this announcement? So I said, let's make sure that the ladies will also be present during the Friday Night Lights out this Friday. Please, ladies, come and join us, okay? And I encourage everyone to join us for this two-in-one event and show us support for our members. And I extend my heartfelt thanks to those who have already purchased their tickets for our upcoming fundraising concert with RC Makati Premier District on February 2 at the 5th in Rockwell. This would not have happened without the leadership of our PP Eddie Yap, who has found a new calling in being an impresario, putting together events. No? It's wonderful to hear that tickets are selling fast with only a few remaining in the outer orchestra section. We still have outer orchestra section. Eddie, we still have, huh? On the sides already. But I would like to express my gratitude to PP Louis Aseoche for overseeing the preparations on behalf of the club, and to PP Eddie Yap, our concert producer, for ensuring that this event will be a great success. I encourage our members to consider sponsoring the show, as there are various packages available. What we've just done is that we basically break even in terms of cash flow, but we now need some of the generous members to come in and sponsor a page, half page, or whatever, to be able to now start generating some surplus funds so we can then give it to our designated beneficiaries. This is not only an excellent opportunity to promote your company, but also to support our humanitarian efforts, such as the Rotary Homes in Siargao, our mental health project with the Natasha Goldborn Foundation, and our scholarship program with Dual Tech. I have some announcements regarding the future activities of our club. Next Tuesday, January 30, we will not have a luncheon meeting, as this will fall on the 5th Tuesday of the month. Our next meeting is scheduled for February 6th with Israel Ambassador Ian Plus as our guest speaker. On February 13, we will have an off-site luncheon meeting at Bar Pinsox at BGC for BGC Greenway project, which Carlo Rufino, of course, is on top of. Let's give Carlo a big hand there. For some of you guys who are not aware, we are sponsored. We've been sponsoring for the past few years this BGC Greenway project to make it more walkable and more friendly area. So that meeting, we'll be able to actually see for ourselves what they've done. This will actually serve as our mini Valentine's party, so please invite your aunts. All right, guys? Although the space is only good for 70, attendance will be on a first-come, first-served basis. And so, of course, we will do our best to accommodate everybody who will want to attend. Please confirm your attendance now so we can reserve your seats. And lastly, for the Rotary Homes fundraising run, please be advised that it has now been moved to March 3, still a Sunday, at the Pacific Rim in Philinvest, Alabang. I hope you and your family members will join us for this event to support a very worthy cause. And before I forget, PDG Sid reminded me to remind everybody about our big event on March 15, right? This is the charter anniversary that we will be having. Plus, more important, we will be inaugurating the annual, henceforth, Paing Echonova Youth Fellowship, Youth Leadership Program. So a lot of work has been put into this. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with it, we're basically, we've embarked on a nationwide contest to be able to encourage the young to submit their projects that are consistent with the Rotary's area of focus. So on that particular day, the 10 finalists will be presented, plus of course the 3 winners will be given cash prizes. Again, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that, President Bing. Now may I call on Anne Menchu Pascual, wife of past President Fred, to introduce our wonderful guest speaker.
Esteemed members of the Rotary Club of Makati, fellow Rotarians, friends, good afternoon. It is my distinct honor and pleasure to stand before you today to introduce a speaker whose life reads not just like a resume, but like an anthology of groundbreaking achievements. In the challenging world of leadership, some build their legacy with the subtle strength of silk and the resilience of steel. Today, we are graced by a woman who has done just that, Mrs. Corazon de la Paz-Bernardo is a trailblazer whose footsteps have left an indelible imprint on the annals of professional management and the ladder of success. She began her career with excellent credentials, magna cum laude in accounting from the University of the East, first place in the CPA board examination, and an MBA from Cornell University. She worked with Price Waterhouse in New York for 2 years. When she returned to the Philippines, she joined Price Waterhouse Philippines and quickly moved to its esteemed partnership. As the first woman partner in over a century of Price Waterhouse international history, she redefined what it meant to be a leader in a male-dominated world. Upon her retirement from Price Waterhouse, Mrs. De La Paz-Bernardo took her expertise to the social security system, where she extended the SSS actuarial life and breathed new life into it, safeguarding the future of millions of private sector retirees. Her presidency at the Geneva-based International Social Security Association was a personal accolade and a moment of pride for every woman, every Filipino, as she became the first non-European, the first woman, and the foremost leader in a realm where many had not dared to tread. Her presidency in the Philippine Institute of Certified Public Accountants and the Management Association of the Philippines was a statement that women can play the top leadership roles in the business organizations. If you thought her strides in leadership took a pause, think again. She chaired NAMFREL in the 2013 national elections, ensuring that the pillar of democracy, our right to vote, was upheld with integrity and transparency. She has served on the board of several publicly listed companies and other organizations. She has maintained her membership in highly regarded national organizations such as MAP and Phoenix. Now, as she dedicates her time to the noble cause of education and continues to advise private sector groups, we realize that the word retirement is not in her dictionary. It's not the years in her life that count, but the life in her years that inspires us all. So hold on to your seats as we prepare to dive into her wisdom on achieving leadership role for women, a topic she doesn't just speak on, but embodies with every fiber of her being. Rotarians and Rotarians and friends, please join me in a resounding round of applause as we welcome a true icon of leadership and a champion for women everywhere, Mrs. Cora de la Paz-Bernardo.
Mr. Bing Matoto, Mr. Keith Harrison, Mr. Michael Escaler, Makati Rotarians and their aunts, friends, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Thank you for this opportunity to speak to you on the subject of achieving leadership role for women. I will have to draw from my own personal experience in discussing this issue because other ladies who have become leaders in their own fields could very well have different experiences in getting to where they are or have been. Mrs. Carmen Guerrero Nakpil wrote years ago that in the Philippines, the businessman is a woman. She explained that this has come about mainly because of the approach of most parents in the rearing of their children. Early in their growing up years, the girls learn to be diligent and are expected to assume responsibilities in the home, helping their mothers in doing household chores, helping run home-based family business, like in our case where we were helping our parents take care of the ducks that we have because our business was in balut making. Or looking after their younger siblings. The boys, on the other hand, often are allowed more leeway in doing their own thing, like socializing and playing outside of the home with other boys. As a result, the girls usually mature earlier and faster in terms of assuming more responsibilities within the family. I found this to be true in our family, where we are 4 sisters with a brother who came 5 years after the third girl. Our mother sent him to Don Bosco Mandaluyong for his secondary education, while the 4 girls went to the Rizal High School in Pasig. This was once the biggest high school in the world. 3 of the girls graduated with honors. The girls all did well academically, while our brother spent most of his time as an activist, participating in demonstrations and campus rallies, and being a Boy Scout. He attended 3 universities in the process because he was being kicked out from one university to another because he was not attending his classes. He passed away in Toronto before reaching age 60, while us girls are still around with ages ranging from 75 to 87, 2 medical doctors and a nurse, all of whom are products of the University of the Philippines College of Medicine, or PGH, and medical institutions in America. And myself, a CPA who got involved in the public accounting and business consulting service industry. Right now, I serve as a board director or trustee in several corporations involved in education, agriculture, manufacturing, investments, real estate, and tourism. And as advisor in the leading bank where I work with George Barcelon and a telecom company. I am the only one of the sisters who went to a private university for college. It was because my father thought that the University of the East was a good school for future CPAs then, since many of the board top-notchers were coming from UE, like Charlie Alindada, Adriano D., Alicia Llamado Reyes, and Leticia Santos. Also, since the bus from our hometown of Pateros went through Claro M. Recto, it's an easier commute for a frail 15-year-old girl. I finished college as was mentioned earlier, as a scholar. I was also active as an officer of different campus organizations like the Student Catholic Action, the Junior Philippine Institute of Accountants, and Panorama, our yearbook. Issues of hard work, compliance with ethical standards, integrity, independence, and professionalism were inculcated in us early on. I dreamt about being a partner of an accounting firm. When I was made to use Mr. Washington Sisip's room, when I took the qualifying test for acceptance into the staff of SGV. He was out of the country then. It was a room that made me dream with his mementos on display. I also prayed hard to become the #1 successful examinee in the CPA board exam, to be able to study abroad and get an MBA, because UE was awarding to board first placers such scholarship. All my prayers were answered when the exam results were made known. By some miracle and a lot of prayers, my prayers were answered. I topped that year's board examination. Aside from the UE scholarship, I also got a Fulbright travel grant. I had a chance to work with IBM in New York in the summer after my first year in graduate school. It was a good experience working in a big city after 1 year of schooling in upstate New York. I went to Cornell, and our incumbent president now of the Cornell Club of the Philippines is Martin Romualdez. I don't know if he will run for the presidency. While doing my graduate work, I came across the book, 25 Years of Accounting Responsibility, written by George O. May of Pricewaterhouse, who led the founding of the PW practice in the United States. Pricewaterhouse was described in a book on the big firms as the Empress Dowager of the accounting profession. His focus on distinguished client service, independence, and compliance with our profession's code of ethics inspired me. And I joined Pricewaterhouse in New York City for 2 years before returning to the Philippines as required by the Fulbright program. I was one of 2 women out of the 15 new staff members who were recruited by the firm that year. The other lady resigned 1 week into our 1-month training program. I survived the rigorous program as the only woman and only foreigner in our class by topping it. There were only 3 professional women in the auditing group when I started working with clients. They also had to find a client and an audit partner who would accept a foreigner and a woman to join their team. I became one of the boys and learned to work very long hours during the busy season and drank with them during our off hours. I also got outstanding appraisal reports while there. I went home to the Philippines after 4 years via Western Europe and Southeast Asia for about a month, alone, sometimes sleeping in trains and leaving my luggage in train stations or pension houses. It was an experience that made me more confident about my ability to face new situations and different cultures. When I got home, I decided to join the Pricewaterhouse firm of Joaquin Cunanan and Company, thinking that it would be easier for me to go back to the US firm as an immigrant after 2 years stay in the country. Because I figured the compensation in the Philippines would be very low and I could make more money in the US and stay with my sisters. But it was not to be. In one of my clients, I was assigned to, I met and later married a good-looking gentleman, a top-notch tax lawyer whose name I proudly carry to this day, 28 years after his passing. He was a man intent on staying in the Philippines and serving the country rather than working elsewhere. A year after our wedding, we went to New York for my husband to study at New York University for his Master of Laws, major in taxation, while I went back to work for Pricewaterhouse in New York. By the time he got his degree, he was assigned by Exxon to work and train in Houston for 2 months, while Pricewaterhouse agreed for me to work in its Houston office to develop course materials for its continuing education program and sent my completed work to the national office in New York. With the declaration of martial law, my husband's life changed significantly when Exxon's Philippine operation was taken over by the government under the Philippine National Oil Company, or PNOC. He was appointed to chair the Bureau of Energy Development, which became in charge of oil exploration. He was not allowed to resign to join a law firm. That started his 19-year service to the national government, which ended in his being appointed as by President Corazon Aquino as chairman of National Power Corporation and presidential advisor on energy with cabinet rank in the last 6 months of her presidency. These were the months when we were having 10 to 12-hour brownouts. His joining the Aquino administration was supposed to be only for 1 year, as he could help in the transition from the Marcos government to the post-martial law years. However, the 1 year became 6, during which Malampaya was discovered and developed, and the power problem became a major issue for the country. On my part, after our return to Manila, I was admitted to the partnership of Pricewaterhouse and Joaquin Cunanan and Company, as was mentioned earlier, first woman partner of PW World Firm in its more than 100 years. 5 years later, I was elected president of the PICPA, the National Organization of CPAs in the Philippines. And as mentioned in your material here, it was the second woman president in its almost 50-year history. The first woman elected 25 years after the term of the first woman president, Mrs. Belen Enrile Gutierrez, the mother-in-law of the late Rene Paras, once president of your Rotary Makati. I served for almost 2 years as its president, after which another woman, Central Bank Deputy Governor Carlota Valenzuela, took over. Several more women presidents have been elected since and have served with distinction. I had to work hard to get out of the PICPA presidency, even to the extent of going to the Supreme Court against the Securities and Exchange Commission for abuse of discretion. On my 8th year as partner and 2 years before the retirement of our then chairman and senior partner, he invited me to lunch, thinking that he was just looking for a lunch companion and thinking I would have a free lunch. I readily agreed, and off we went to the Intercon's jeepney bar. After giving out our orders, he said, "You're it." I was surprised and asked him, What's it? He said, you're taking over from me. Surprised, I asked, why me? I'm female. He replied, every time there is a significant assignment to be done, you're the first one that comes to mind. But I said, I can't spend time entertaining clients at night. He replied, you can assign that to your partners. Your role will be to make the difficult decisions. I said, I will have to ask my husband's permission. He said, go ahead. In the early years of our marriage, my husband had told me that the husband decides if the wife can work and where the family should live. Knowing he's a very good lawyer, I did not doubt nor question his statement. After all, in college, I took up a subject on preparing for marriage and family life. I have accepted that the husband is the head of the family. So I saw the need to speak to my husband about our conversation at lunch. In the first place, I had never planned nor considered being the lead partner of our firm. I wanted to have children and be a devoted, nurturing mother, principally attending to my family's needs. Also, I did not relish worrying about where the firm's payroll would come from. I would rather be with my husband and spend my limited time with him. It is all right for me to do my professional work, servicing clients to the best of my ability. But doing administrative work and worrying about the work of other partners were things I had not planned on doing. As soon as I got home, I narrated to my husband what transpired at lunch. Sabi ni Joe, do you all speak, can you understand Tagalog? Okay. Sabi ni Joe, ako raw ang papalit sa kanya. Sabi ko, kakausapin muna kita. He replied, sino pa ba? So I said, surprised, ha? Ibig mo sabihin, ako dapat? Oo, he said. With that affirmation, all I could say was, sige, tatanggapin ko na. Better me telling them what to do than they deciding things for me. My life changed that minute. I ask him now how we will face or how we will take care of our children. He said, I will help you. He was true to his promise and was always there for our daughter. We only have one child. Letting our partners know about this new development was another hurdle. Our chairman had to plan on how to break the decision to those aspiring to be the chosen one. Aside from being female, I am younger by 3 years than the other possibles, and 1 year behind them as partner. That was because I had to be away for 1 year when my husband went to New York for his studies. It was good that when all was said and done, there was enough goodwill in the partnership to think the common good than hurt egos. I served as chair for 20 years, and the firm, which is the oldest in the country, grew more than threefold and admitted more partners, male and female. After my retirement, 2 more women had served as chairman, to the point that was Sisip, who's really my friend, complimented me for having developed lady partners that became leaders of the firm. I was elected as the first woman member of the board of Pricewaterhouse World Firm for a 3-year term, and for many years was the lone woman member of the almost 100-member Pricewaterhouse Council. So our chairman would start the meeting by saying, Cora and gentlemen. Yesterday, I read that PwC, because Pricewaterhouse merged with Coopers and Lybrand, It's now called PwC. I read that PwC US firm has 2 female candidates out of 3 for senior partner. Times have really changed. So it's very likely that one of these ladies would be the head of the US firm. Even here, several women now have assumed leadership roles in previously male-dominated organizations like Shell, IBM, GCash, Insular Life, and others. During my term as head of our firm, I became the first woman president of FINEX, or the Financial Executives Institute of the Philippines, and MAP, or the Management Association of the Philippines. I always tell the ladies that it's because I was born ahead of them. Because now, several people have become lady presidents, and the MAP just had a female president last year. After my retirement from our accounting firm in 2001, I was appointed president of the Social Security System. Again, the first woman to handle the position in 45 years, and where I served for 7 years instead of the 1 year I had earlier agreed to. Lito Camacho, who was then Secretary of Finance, was very upset with me when I was refusing to serve. And he said, napaka-unpatriotic mo. Why don't you like to serve your country? And I said, ayokong mamatay sa trabaho. Ayokong mamatay dyan. Mahuli lang anak ko. That was because my first husband died after 3 years after being head of NAPOCOR, because those were really very stressful years. And in fact, when he was appointed by Mrs. Aquino, I said, bakit mo tinanggap yan? When you left the house this morning, you were going to resign. How come you accepted that very difficult job? And he said, kasi kami nakakaalam ng gagawin. They're the ones who knew what to do, having come from the previous administration headed by Ronnie Velasco. In 2004, I was again forced to accept the nomination to be the Asia-Pacific candidate for president of the International Social Security Association, or ISA, based in Geneva, Switzerland, and founded in Brussels in 1927. The chairman of the Philippine Social Security Commission said, as a member of ISA, I cannot refuse the nomination. I told him that I already have a lot to do at SSS. SSS had many problems that time. He said he will help me do my job in the Philippines, having been a former SSS administrator himself. When I won the election as president in Beijing, he was himself surprised that I did, because, as he said, you do not have the funds to support your candidacy. He was shocked. He probably didn't think that later on SSS will have to spend for my trips. I was re-elected in Moscow for another 3-year term. To date, no other woman has since served as ISA president, although a Malaysian was elected last year in Morocco as its second non-European president. Perhaps the fact that I speak English, have an MBA, and work for the internationally recognized accounting and consulting firm of Pricewaterhouse, those probably helped. Because my closest rival, a Frenchman who had a lot of experience, spoke in French. And how many people can understand French among those who voted? Before I end, as an epilogue, let me tell you that my brother's funeral, that my second sister went to my brother's funeral in Toronto. She was pleasantly surprised at the big number of people in attendance, including several priests. She found out that he had many friends he had helped, not financially, but by his moral and emotional support to them and their families at their time of need. His life was spent not by being appointed or elected to lead to lead various organizations. He was with people in need of a friend when they needed him. My parents were right, after all, in rearing my only brother the way they did, and he lived by the name Salvador Santos, meaning sacred savior. I also visited him a few weeks before he died, and I was surprised that he was happy, even if he knew he had a problem. He was very diabetic, had one leg cut off, and was getting blind. But his spirit was quite high, and he was very happy to see me, and I learned a lot from him. Because for me, it's all work, 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 winning here, winning there, and so on. But in his case, he just led his life helping people. I don't know, as my mother would say, when I would say, wala na naman kayo sa bahay, saan kayo nang galing? She would say, oh, I went to the funeral of so-and-so. And I said, funeral again? Aren't you tired of going to funerals? And she said, when you die, no one will go to your funeral. Yeah. Let me just conclude by saying that in my life, I had some guidelines. One is that that's why I work late, long hours. The heights that great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward in the night. Success doesn't always mean fame and fortune, as long as we try our best with the gifts we've been given under the parable of talents. And what is success? Let me quote Ralph Waldo Emerson. To laugh open and much, to win the respect of intelligent people and the affection of children, to learn the appreciation of honest critics and endure the betrayal of false friends, to appreciate the beauty, to find the best in others, to leave the world a better place, whether by a healthy child, a garden patch, or a redeemed social condition. To know even one life has breathed easier because you have lived. This is to have succeeded. I really wish the Rotary Club of Makati great success. I have been reading the write-ups of President Bing, and I'm really very appreciative of what the Rotary Makati has been doing. I had wanted to be a member of the Rotary Club of Manila before, but they always said, walang babae. Said, you're missing a lot, but that was it. But I was once a member of the Sonta Club of Makati, and these are very hardworking ladies. But I couldn't stay long because I had so much responsibility in the office. I was awarded once as a member of Towns, the Outstanding Women in the Nation Service. This is the closest to having the Rotary Club. When we were appointed or given the award, I was with a batch of Nora Honor, and I was surprised to see she was shy and probably felt that she can't compare with the other women awardees. But when she went to the stage to sing, she was a transformed person. She was so confident about what she can do. So you can see that women don't have to have high education to do many things. We have in our group likes of Leticia Hani, former Chief Justice Sereno, so many big names among the women, and you can appreciate what they can do. Right now, our president is Trina Prodigalidad, the managing partner of Accra Law. And these women can do a lot of things, but we really have to work together, men and women. And the Filipino women have so much to offer, but question of what you do with your family is always an issue. Probably if I didn't work long hours, I would have more than one child. And our child is adopted. Our child is adopted. We didn't have any child of our own. But my husband loved her very much. And she's doing things where she doesn't earn much money or not no money at all. She wants to advise or counsel addicts. And she's very happy to tell me that she had a friend who stopped drinking for many months. When before that he was just drinking all the time, but through counseling. But she'd like to take a more formal course in psychology, so she's going back to London. But I can see that this is really how she feels about how she would like to spend the rest of her life. Sabi ko, magugutom ka niyan sa ginagawa mo. She doesn't care. They say, well, you know, she might marry a rich man. Okay, so thank you very much for having me. I see several of my friends here, and thank you again. Thank you. I'm sorry I failed to acknowledge the lady who introduced me, Bencho Pascual, the beautiful wife of our Secretary of Trade and Industry.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Cora de la Paz Bernardo, for that very, truly inspiring journey. I'm sure you have a lot of questions. For those people who are online, please type your questions on the comment box. And for those people who are here, the floor is open. Do I see hands? Any questions?
Let me say something.
Yes.
I just mentioned to being that I forgot to mention that I had a second husband who unfortunately is also not with us anymore. He was my high school classmate. And he was not my friend because we were competing for honors. We met again 50 years later during our golden anniversary reunion. And then we started talking about playing golf. And unfortunately, part of the time, he had to take care of his ailing wife and so on. We continued playing. And later on, all of a sudden, the third member of our group, who was my mom's relative, he was not passing by for him anymore. He was not picking him up anymore. And I said, where is Joe? And he said, oh, I can't get hold of him. He doesn't have a phone. Later on, it turned out he wanted to propose. A lot of our friends were surprised, but we had a very good 11 years. It was 11 years. Unfortunately, for some reason we couldn't understand, he also had cancer. He died. But he was a very good man, a friend of being Matoto. And some people here who just told me that that they play poker. Okay, yeah. Somebody said, I will introduce you to a third person. You're known as a husband killer. So I will introduce you to someone, and better be sure that he'll die. You might be able to guess who that third person is. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. A question? Yes, Helen.
I am a guest here. I come from the Institute of Corporate Directors and belong to the group that advocates board diversity. I'd like to ask, having been in many boards, what were your challenges when you sat in all male boards? And how did you overcome these challenges?
I never thought that I'm alone or not prepared because I'm used to working with men. So when I started sitting in boards, it was easy. And I'm usually assigned to be the chair of the audit committee. So it's an area that I'm quite familiar with. So it wasn't a problem. And what I've experienced is that I don't seek the job seeks me. So when sometimes I fall asleep during meetings, they probably are prepared to forgive me. But even in school in the US, there were only 2 or 3 women, and sometimes I'm the only one in the class. The rest are men. But they never treated me differently. They were quite nice, and they never took advantage of my being the only woman in the class.
Thank you, Cora. Very inspiring. Yeah. Among all the organizations, you had so many challenges. What made you sleepless at night? What made you sleepless at night with all the challenges?
Oh, because my phone has so many messages I have to look at. But I love looking at Phoenix Social. A lot of stories, crazy things that are there. And so I stay awake until about 2 o'clock in the morning because otherwise I can't finish reading everything. In fact, I don't get to finish everything. There's so much to read. And
Yeah, thank you.
sometimes I like to throw away my phone.
Any more questions? True to form, women are very hardworking, as seen by Miss Cora here. So, any other questions who would like to?
Let me just tell you something.
Yes.
I have always thought that doctors become rich. So when my youngest sister, who's a neurologist, would say she doesn't have money for something that I should pay for her trip to Davao or other places, I'd say, akala ko ba pag nagdoktor, yayaman? I thought that if you become a doctor, you'll become rich. And her answer is, not if you come from PGH. The, the graduates of the UP College of Medicine, they work with very little pay, as they said, but they're there for the service side of it.
Service with a beautiful heart. Yes.
Ma'am, I have no question. I just want to express our common sentiment to all those who are present now. Ma'am, we're so impressed about your accomplishment. You're a superwoman. Ma'am, you are God's gift to our country and a God's gift to womanhood. Mabuhay ka kaayo, mabuhay ka.
You should see me in action at home. I'm not as sweet as you see me now.
And we need women like her. Okay, so shall we? Any more question? Yes.
Talking about womenhood, there was a recent speech by the Argentine president at the Davos forum, and it was against women's rights, preferential rights. And the main thesis of his speech is that this special favor to women is part of uh, the movement of liberals that is transforming society to socialism, and that he was pushing for capitalism because based on the experience of Argentina, it was because of socialist policies. That's why Argentina is bankrupt. So now, being recently elected, he analyzed that the world is moving towards socialism, including preferential rights to women. So I think women of the world should unite.
You know, I have been asked to join women's group that advocate that more women should be in boards. But I have not joined any of those because I believe that the woman has to be prepared just like anybody to assume a director's position because it's a position of responsibility. But we have many women in the Philippines who can handle that job. Well, when I heard that there was a woman president of Shell, of IBM, GCash, and Insular Life, what can you say? You know, they are very efficient and very effective women, just like men. So I'm not going to go against women in boards as long as they're qualified to handle the position. And there are many more women because of education and the examples that they see of other women who have succeeded. So that might be true in Argentina, but not in the Philippines. Yeah. You can see all the ladies here. They dominate their husbands.
Yeah. That's why they are all here today, Anne's Day. I totally agree with you. Okay. Now, may we please call on President Bing for his response?
Okay, thank you very much again, Cora, for a very interesting and enlightenment speech for us. And I'm sure our ladies here all are appreciative of your comments. So with the men folk, you've actually shared the secret of how women convince men to do their way. You make it appear as if it's men making the decision. In reality, it's the woman, right? So with that note, I'd like to say thank you again for your time here. And I'd like to again thank our Rotarians for gracing this occasion. Hey, we have more of this. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. And sign of our appreciation, Cora, we have this certificate of appreciation. You may wonder what this plaque is all about. It actually represents our participation in a project involving environment, reef bud, we call it reef bud. This plaque is attached to a reef bud that is planted in the sea to regenerate corals. No? And we'd like you also to, once you have the time to be able to go through this, it says 55, but we're now going 58 years. So that's going to be quite a handful of really to keep you awake again further at night. And finally, to help you sleep, please enjoy this bottle of wine. Thank you very much again, and good afternoon to everybody. Oh, yes, of course. Rochelle, Rochelle, please? It's nice. Thank you. Thank you very much. Our meeting is adjourned, folks. We do have a raffle. We try to make it a point now to have raffle
Yes.
after the
Before
meeting.
before
Okay.
we close, we will have a raffle.
Okay. Can you pick out the winners?
Yeah, you pick up the winner over there.
Okay, okay.
So it's a care of the Peninsula Hotel, raffle of a complimentary lunch for two. PDG Tony! Yay! Lunch in Escolta. Yeah. Okay, now is the obligatory picture taking. And I